Who wouldn't want a fantastic resort in Nassau County? Where's the cheering? I don't understand, like, right? Well, I guess, right? That wasn't really a cheer thing, though. We have a chance, and of course, the governor will speak about that. It's like hitting the lottery, right? But it's a lot of hard work for these folks, and it's a lot of hard work for all of us in the small business, too. And they've been working with the small businesses in the communities from the beginning. Isn't that right? That's right. That's right, right? But they'll go into the timeline and stuff like that with you. But let me tell you something. We can't afford to sit back in our chairs on this, because all of a sudden it's going to be maybe like a year or so from now, and we could potentially be looking at it and just say, what the hell happened, right? So when they reach out and want to have conversations with folks, have them. If you have questions for them, give them a call. You can call the Nassau Council, whatever, because they're there for you. And it's exciting times ahead. Now, when it comes to Governor Patterson, he's a really great guy, right? Elaine said she always winds up sitting like today next to David. Well, I've gone to a few events with them as well, and Elaine hasn't been there, and I'm his sit-next-to person. And let me tell you, he's a funny guy. He really is. Great stories and been through a lot. We'll play the video now, but I just wanted to say I didn't want to let that go and I wanted to give you a Nassau Council perspective of it. From the very beginning again, we keyed in starting in Farmingdale, and as long as things go well, and there you are, as long as the Sands are involved, right? We're with them, and the chambers are with them. Key it up.
Long Island, it's time to redevelop the Nassau Coliseum site. With celebrity chef restaurants, luxury accommodations, world-class spa, state-of-the-art entertainment venue, the excitement of casino gaming, and more. Historic investment in our community, creating new jobs and career paths. Robust economic development locally, and increased tax revenue lessening the burden on us all. Join the movement sweeping Long Island. Say yes to Sands.
Say yes to Governor Patterson. Here he is.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm David Patterson. I am a recovering governor. And now I am a recovering crime fighter. So I guess you all read that story, but the one thing you don't know is in the middle of that fight, which was started by adults, but featured children and my stepson and myself, this guy is literally trying to choke me, and I smashed his head against the McDonald's window, and he fell on the ground. Yeah. Oh. And this pedestrian walks up to me, and this could only happen on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. It couldn't happen on the Upper West Side. It couldn't happen on Long Island. It couldn't happen in any state or any city. He says to me, "Was that necessary?" Shut up. I said, "Yeah, it was necessary." And then he ran away. So, thank you all for coming out and supporting all the great work that we've done in Nassau County with all of the organizations cooperating with the changes that are being made. The town supervisor, Ms. Hempstead, was talking about problems that existed for a long time, but there's a redevelopment plan to fix that. And as a person who grew up here, my heart has always been with Long Island. It's always been with Nassau County. It's always been with the village of Hempstead, where I grew up. But I think since I've been coming out here advocating for the Sands and the integrated resort that we'd like to build and to raise the economic development of Long Island, which always gets left out when the state is dividing things up, the thing that has really touched me is the way people are working together, the way people are putting their heads together. And we've actually gone through a breakfast where nobody called another person a name like a fascist. And we've also gone through a breakfast where nobody questioned somebody else's IQ. And so that to me means that if we could get the rest of this country to do what Long Island's doing, we could really ameliorate a lot of the problems that we're facing right now. Now, Nassau County really is America's first suburb, and Nassau County really is the place where economic development has thrived really more than any place else in the country. And so I think that since we have greater capacity than 140 of the UN seats, we should just go to the UN and remove them all. But the issue of this integrated resort is very much misunderstood. So just for a moment, I would say that if you ever watched the movie The Godfather, I know you did, or the movie Bugsy or Atlantic City, or even the movie Casino, that probably accurately reflects the type of underworld activity that existed in this country in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and it probably gives a very good sense of how difficult it was to try to do anything when you were being leaned on by underworld sources. But the reality is that not just the Sands, but a number of the resorts in Las Vegas got together, and what they did was build a facility that not only accommodated casinos, but also generated revenues from restaurants, from fine dining, from other opportunities. They even at one point built an amusement park in Las Vegas right by a casino. And the whole idea was to expand the opportunities just from people who wanted to go and gamble to people who brought their families and did other things or went to arenas and watched performances by great musicians. And we think that this could happen in Long Island. We don't want to look up and see that it happened in some other places who have very good backing and are trying to do exactly what we're doing. We feel that it's Long Island's time to get the opportunity to be in the forefront of progress and to have the benefit of the revenues that will come in from visitors who are here. And there are some obstacles. We're going to have to deal with the traffic problem. We're going to have to deal with a few things, but we think we can do that well. So in a time in our history where we have thousands of companies out of business and going out of business, state budgets wildly out of balance, more people going without food or shelter than at any time since the turn of the century, we have people thrown out of work, others denied the opportunity to work, and rather than living at peace with ourselves as we should be, we're more divided than ever, I think nationally. Region against region, class against class, the haves against the have-lesses, and the have-nots. We don't have to have a country that's that way. We can have a country that generates economic opportunity, and business is got to be at the forefront of it. And we can do that by finding not only what Long Island represents to this state, but what Nassau represents to this entire country if we ever want to work together and find workable, sensible solutions and move forward. So I thank you for allowing me to present this this morning. And for these people who like sitting next to me, anyone that sits next to me now, bring your riot helmet. Take care.